hit the nail on the head. I mean, that seems to be a sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I think the timing's perfect.
Something like Backers that can connect idea people with money people and is tremendous.
All right, we are here. It is episode 1 of The Crowd. I'm Justin Fox, founder and CEO of Backers, and we have a star-studded guest of participants as The Crowd in The Crowd, powered by Backers. And right now we have one of our guest presenters or pitchers today, Gaurav from Class Track. And he's going to be presenting Class Track today. Gaurav Sharma is going to be presenting as well. We will have Bootleggers. We'll have Cam Tabarari from Bootleggers going to be presenting as well. Quickly, I'm going to go around. Everyone just introduce yourself. Just quick who you are. You don't necessarily need to get into too much details, but we'll go clockwise. Maybe Mike, you want to start with yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Mike Offridge. I work on cash flow enhancement for business owners.
Perfect. Steve?
Steve Cody, entrepreneur out of Ottawa, focused on building marketplaces.
Perfect. And we'll keep going around the horn there. We'll get to Maria.
I'm Maria. I'm in Vancouver, business consultant and software.
Perfect. And then we've got Kevin. How's it going, Kevin?
Great, thanks. I'm Kevin, and I'm just east of Toronto, and I've been in the education sector for 5 years and sales for 20 years, and that education sector includes being a current elected school board trustee for my area. Thanks.
Awesome. Welcome to the show. Next one, we've got Isa.
Yep. Name's Isa. I'm an emerging companies lawyer with Renault & Co., working primarily with startups and growth stage companies.
Cool. And we'll keep going around. Who's got Dan Henry. Welcome.
Hi there. My name's Daniel Henry from Vancouver, British Columbia, and currently working on, I have two businesses that I'm the director for, one being financial advisory and the other in the cryptocurrency space.
Cool. And you guys are going to be launching at some point, so you'll be potentially one of the guests here, hopefully down the road. Next, we have Raul. Raul, welcome to the show. Did Raul, you on mute? Are we losing you?
Hi, I'm Rahul. I go into startups and help set up the.
I think we're losing. So we'll jump through. We'll go to the last one there. We've got Gaurav is the guest of honor today. Gaurav, welcome to the show.
Hi, my name is Gaurav Sharma, and I'm the founder of Class Track, and with more than 30 years experience in academic management of all sorts of institutes, universities. I created my product, which will revolutionize the way education management is being conducted right now. And I'm really glad that Justin gave me this chance to present in front of all of you amazing folks. And I'm excited.
So I guess, yeah, let's I was going to jump right into there. Why don't we jump right into Gaurav, into your pitch? I think actually I have Peter backstage as well. Peter, let me see if we can get Peter in there. There's Peter. You want to jump in? Well, introduce yourself quickly as well. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, Justin. I'm Peter, finance expert and a growth consultant with Tulip Consulting, and it's great to be here.
Perfect. So I'll talk a little bit before we get Gaurav jump in, and we've also got Cam is just driving. He said he was going to be a few minutes behind here, but he's going to be pitching after Gaurav. The premise of the show here, it is The Crowd, powered by Backers. Obviously, Backers is essentially a crowd investing platform. The opportunity here is everyone watching, both live in audience as well as those online, have the opportunity to invest directly into the opportunities or the businesses that are presenting here. And so there are opportunities to invest. You can basically jump in and invest right there. So we're going to jump into Gaurav's pitch, and then you guys will have the chance to ask some questions, and we will then jump back into the audience here. Let me just quick 1 second. We lost Raul. So okay, so we will be able to jump in, and Gaurav, you're ready to pitch. So we'll do about 3 to 5 minutes, go through your deck, and then I'll sort of throw the questions to everyone watching. This is episode 1. We'll jump into it. Gaurav, you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So I'm just gonna start sharing my screen.
Oh, I've got
Let me know.
Peter highlighted there. There we go. All right.
So can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see you, not your screen.
Okay. How about now?
There we go. We're going to jump right into that.
Are you able to see the ClassTrack screen now?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Justin. So I'll give you a little bit of background of ClassTrack. Basically, I since 1997, when I started my journey as an academic head of a vocational institution, I tried to improve the existing processes. And while teaching various subjects, I noticed that the instructors are, doing a lot of management along with their teaching responsibilities. And since then, I've been since I have a software background and an academic background, so I tried to combine all those aspects together until when I came to Canada, I got this opportunity to work independently with a college, with Western Community College, and they gave me the responsibility to remove all the paper-based management system and introduce some new technologies. And then I thought, okay, why should I stop at one college? I should just give whatever amazing tools that I've created, I should make that available for every college in the world. And that's when I started ClassTrack. The company basically had the vision of catering to all levels of education, starting from an individual tutor to small academies and vocational institutions, to private colleges, small scale, medium scale, large scale private colleges, public colleges, and universities. And now we even have possibility of a provincial entity taking up ClassTrack for all the schools in the province. So that's the scalability of the product, from the very grassroots level of a tutor to maybe a parent who's trying to organize their child's education in a better way, to a university. And the key area where ClassTrack is is unique is that we are the world's first concierge education management system. So I will touch base on that later on, but first let me just go ahead and tell you exactly what ClassTrack can do in a very quick way. So as ClassTrack is basically, you can say, a combination of CRM, which is used by many companies as well as many private and public colleges to advertise their programs and offerings on various social media platforms, and provide the leads a form which then generates a lead into something like HubSpot or any other CRM. So we have that whole thing within ClassTrack, that the institutions can manage their entire CRM through ClassTrack, and they don't need any other third-party application. And when it comes to different aspects related to education management, attendance is one aspect, assessments, class scheduling, various different types of KPIs and matrices which are required for different departments of a private institution. Teachers need their own dashboard, a very comprehensive dashboard for teachers and students. And for schools, we have an amazing timetable creator, which solves a lot of scheduling issues, which which is a big issue I've seen in many schools. And we have automated attendance as well as QR code based attendance, loads and loads of features. We have more than 68 modules within ClassTrack, catering to CRM, shared course system, human resources like payroll and staff scheduling, teacher scheduling, leave management. And then as far as financial systems are concerned, we have those too. We have covered all different types of admission systems, from just a simple cohort-based system to rolling intakes, to the ability for students to select their own courses for each semester, and get schedules based on that. And we have all sorts of dynamism in the application, that it is customizable to a great extent, much more than any other that I have seen before. And of course, we have different types of relations that you can establish between programs and courses, teachers and courses, and there are different there are different levels of delivery methods which are available in ClassTrack. It could be a blended learning, self-paced, teacher-led, or distance learning. So all those delivery methods are also available within ClassTrack. Different courses could be created. And our whole data management is pretty robust, because it automatically takes into account most of the relevant reporting systems like transcripts, attendance red flags, attendance warnings, grade warnings, and counseling appointment, and so many other which are available. So you can say when I say I can go through all these different screens very quickly, but in a way, whatever you dream of having in a perfect education management system, we have everything. So that's our unique thing, that we have everything that a college needs. They don't need to go to different applications. For example, a lot of colleges, what they do is, for certain advanced reporting, they go to HubSpot, or CRM, they go to HubSpot. For document signing and management, they go to PandaDoc or DocuSign. For financial management, they go to Sage or QuickBooks or any other, NetSuite maybe. For education management, they go to Moodle or Canvas, or all these different specialized applications which are available. For employee scheduling and staff management, they use any HR software or Google Sheets, or any of the other tools. With ClassTrack, you don't need to go anywhere else. Every aspect, every department in a college, a private college, can work within ClassTrack. So this is something which is this in this screen. You can see that this is the way the admin can create, or the academic department can create different chapters and courses. If you already have something in Moodle, our team, our concierge team, will be responsible for transferring everything. So you don't have to lift a finger. And we have one of the most advanced quiz and answer sheet management system. So no software in the world has the answer sheet management system. We are the first application in the world which has answer sheet management system, which makes it amazingly easy for instructors to give surprise tests or set up quizzes, and especially those quizzes which require maybe mathematical equations or scientific equations or diagrams, and some things which sometimes are not possible to create question by question in a generic quiz creation system. So we take care of that. In this sheet, you can see as the instructors, take different give different classes, teach different sessions, different cohorts, their hours are automatically calculated and sent to the payroll. So teachers don't have to submit their hours unless there is a change or deviation from their regular schedule. We have the lead management or admission management system, which can go from one stage to another, and you can monitor tasks, you can automate certain tasks. We have a contact chain system where every time a lead comes, automatically a set of emails from the set template or text messages are automatically sent to the leads. So there's always a lead engagement automation which the most of our subscribers use. And we have an amazing follow-up lead manager which actually explains how many leads are in the waiting and how many leads per advisor should be allocated based on the performance. So we have a lot of AI which goes in the background to assess the performance of every staff member, whether it's lead management or academic stuff. So, and you can generate letters. The best thing is now, recently IRCC realized, there are fake LOAs or fraudulent LOAs moving around. People are suffering because of that. We actually thought of that many years ago, and we have our own a QR code based letter verification system which the colleges use on their website. So anybody who's holding a letter of acceptance will have a QR code. They can simply scan the QR code using their phone, or if a visa officer has an LOA, they would just click on the QR code and it'll take them directly to the college website and verify if that LOA is authentic. So we thought of this a long time ago, like 3 years ago, and anticipating that this could be one of the issues. And now IRCC has recently, it's on November 17th, they're going to launch something, and we're ready for that as well. So one thing amazing about ClassTrack is that we are really up to date when it comes to government policies, provincial policies, provincial reporting systems, student aid reporting systems, and many other different types of regulatory requirement for reporting and KPIs, which, so we will be able to guide the college. If it's a startup college, then we will guide them from A to Z, how to set up the entire system so that you're up to date and your compliance is within control, which is a major concern for many startup colleges. And we have recently launched a new module where we integrate directly with the systems like Data Witness and any other LTI framework, which is used to archive student documents. So we have an automation around that, and also we have the built-in financial system. So all invoices could be generated through ClassTrack, and you don't actually need QuickBooks, but if you are relying on QuickBooks pretty heavily, we integrate really deeply with QuickBooks, with Moodle, with PandaDoc, DocuSign, HubSpot, with anything that you're already using as a legacy platform. We can integrate with them as long as they have the API-based integration. We have had a lot of colleges which have said that, oh yeah, I have set up everything in another software and they don't have an API. So our concierge team manually transfers a lot of LMSs, like most of the LMSs, quizzes, exams, they're manually transferred through our Python codes, and and that's also not going to stop us from transitioning you from your legacy system, no matter what it is, into ClassTrack, which is the most advanced systems. And of course, there are a lot of analytics that we use. This is just an example of a COVID-based analytics that was asked from the government to various colleges as to, what was the difference in the attendance, when you compared in-class students before COVID, and then during COVID, when everything went online, and then post-COVID, when partially students are now coming back. So government is asking the colleges to provide some insight on what has been the trend, based on different months. So we created a custom report for the colleges. So that's why the concierge comes into picture. So concierge should not be confused with customer support. Customer support is they don't do things for you to make it easy. They just kind of give you information so that you know how the software works. But in concierge, we basically understand what your custom requirement is, and we provide that solution right then, and we're pretty fast. And our concierge is very, very quick and very, very robust in their approach, in the sense that they already know. You don't need to explain them the whole story. You just tell them, yeah, I want this kind of a report, and they would just create a custom report based on that. You don't need to go deep into telling them what all that report should contain. They already know all those things. And of course, we have all the bells and whistles of gamification and different aspects related to the college management. And as far as the presentation is concerned, these were the slides. I know I went through them really quickly because 5 minutes is not a very long time to present, but going to the background of things, so I've managed a few colleges. Even currently, I'm a campus director of a college which initially took ClassTrack, and then they said, no, we need more guidance. Could you come on board as as a campus director? You could work remotely, but we need your guidance. So, I am not only involved in the development aspect, I'm also involved in the operational aspects of various institutions. I know what are the different levels of institutions and how they operate. And ClassTrack as a solution is not just should not be taken as just an app.
Brutal, Justin. His time ran out and you cut him? You're muted, man.
You're muted, Justin.
Wow. Okay. Hold on a second. We're trying to get him back on. I don't know what technical difficulties. Here he comes back in. There we go. All right. Sorry, Gaurav. That something just happened there.
Yeah, no worries. That's fine.
You were mid conversation, and it somehow kicked you out there.
Yeah, so I was just explaining that it's a complete support system for the institutions, not just an app. So, it's not something that you would say, yeah, okay, we are funding an app, and then, maybe the app will do well, maybe it won't. But this is actually much more than just an application. It's a complete support system for any startup college, based on the marketing activities and based on our reach that we plan to establish globally, using the funding that we get. We are hoping to convert a lot of legacy platform users into ClassTrack users. And one of our recent reach out campaign resulted in a chain of nursing colleges in South Africa to reach to us, and we went through a 6-month long tender presenting, and basically it was more like they were actually going really deep into our application, and they were comparing it with SAP and NetSuite and the big players, which are even like Deloitte had one of the pitches in that, and we could satisfy 97% of their requirements. SAP satisfied 73% of their requirement. Moodle satisfied 48%. Canvas satisfied around 32%. And so we have that data to support, and we have a representative from the healthcare institute as well to back us up in case you need their reference.
So, okay, awesome. Gaurav, appreciate it. Guys, we're going to quickly jump around for some quick questions. Does anyone have any burning questions they want to jump on? Appreciate Gaurav for joining, obviously. Should I start?
Well, I was going to ask your existing client base. Are you more online schools, or are you more based on in-person attendance with this software in place?
Yes, good question, actually. So we cover all sorts of attendance, in person as well as, in fact, we started with an in-person college, which was not like Western Community College is a big entity in Surrey, and it all started with in-person. We have self-paced distance learning modules, which automatically calculate the attendance as well. But our entire structure is focused on in-person, blended, and distance.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? We want to maybe just do a quick question each person. I don't know, Steve, do you have any quick thoughts, questions? What are your thoughts on what he's up to and questions?
A great presentation. It's pretty robust tool. Wondering the sales cycle. How long is that sales cycle? Because that can create a cash flow problem, right?
So let me give you an example of a sales cycle. A lot of our clients initially came from word of mouth when instructors start spreading, there's a cool tool that Gaurav has developed. Why don't you try that? Because one instructor can teach in multiple colleges, and then they kind of recommend it. So that way, we didn't even have to pitch them. We just showed them what we can do, and the turnaround time for them asking for a contract was about 2 weeks. And when we so any college that we have reached till now has there's only one college which actually said that we are too deep into our legacy platform. Otherwise, I wish you were there a year ago when we took the decision of going for another institution, and they didn't go for us. But apart from that, let's say, so for example, if I place an ad on Capterra, for example, that's what I usually use. So the time between when the first lead entry comes to us and we send them emails, it takes about 40 days for them to kind of go back and forth, and we have to give a demo to the initial screening person, then to the academic department, to the CRM department. So we, on an average, we give about 6 presentations based on different departments. And so it takes about 40 days before they are ready to take a decision whether or not we are, we're the right tool. And since we have answers for most of their questions, 99% of their questions we already anticipate. So we kind of, don't have any situation where they say, oh, because you don't have this particular feature, we might not go with you.
Okay, cool. That's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to follow up on what Steve said there. You beat me to it, Steve. I was going to actually ask about the sales cycle as well. With regard to the sales cycle, do you have a target market? It sounds like you want to hit It sounds like you want to hit universities, but there's a very long sales cycle with that. So have you taken that into consideration? You also mentioned that you have teachers that are coming to teach at the university. and they're bringing, I guess, your product or a part of your product, and they want to basically push it to the university. Are you going direct to B2B, or is a B2C element here? I mean, what's the game plan?
So our primary target audience are small to medium private colleges, because they are the ones who do not have a very robust, and they don't go really deep into their legacy systems. But the colleges, the public colleges and universities, for example, they've already thought of this, and maybe got a custom solution created for them many years ago. Maybe it's not as good as ours, but they're so deeply rooted in their existing system that it's a huge project to take up initially. And we are right now at a stage that we can take up those projects, but we don't have the, what do you call, maybe the right kind of marketing potential or we haven't really been investing too much into creating a brand awareness in that category as Canvas or D2L or any of these platforms. Because if I am representing Canvas now, there's always a kind of a brand trust which Canvas has built over the years. So even if Canvas is just 20% of ClassTrack, the universities would rather go for Moodle or Canvas or any of these things, because they feel, it's a tried and tested tool. That's their first thing. And it's such a big entity that taking a risk on a tool which does not have that global presence or that kind of a market, similar kind of market. So yes, frankly speaking, we haven't actually reached out to any university or public college yet. So, our focus is very realistic. And there are more private colleges than universities everywhere in the world, actually. So
follow-up question for you here, kind of related to the target audience. So with regards to your target audience and the market size of what you're chasing for, is there like a minimum number of seats that you look for? Like, do you typically have with the onboarding process, you give 6 presentations, you said. Obviously, that's a fair bit of manpower if you're just going to sell to a couple individuals that are kind of hopping around. Or do you sell to departments, or is it typically hard to try and get the entire organization on board? Like,
no,
is there
so
kind of a cap cutoff, and then what's the cost per seat?
Right. Good question. So basically, I'm just giving an example of an institution which has multiple departments, bigger institution. Even in private colleges, if you take Western Community College or any college of that magnitude, they have like 7,000 students. So it's not a small college. It's not just a 50 college or 100 college, 100 student college. So basically, our approach is different when it comes to, let's say, when the owner themselves, they fill the form, they put the lead in, and then the first marketing person who reaches out to them asks who the decision makers are, how many departments are there. In a college, a small college, there's only one person who's making all the decisions, and we don't have to necessarily give 6 presentations. In one presentation, maybe an hour-long presentation, I am able to, or even the marketing representatives, they are able to explain what all different features we have. They're also able to show a demo college and also open a demo account for them for free for them to explore, or maybe run just one program for free. And if they like that, then we go ahead and speak about subscription.
Okay, thanks.
So I'm gonna take this moment here to thank Gaurav, obviously, for joining us. Everyone that's looking, obviously, Gaurav, they are launching ClassTrack on the Backers platform. They're looking to raise capital, probably going to take a few $100,000. I think the goal ultimately is close to $1 million over the next 12 to 18 months or so. They're currently launching in the next day or so, so you will be able to go onto your phone and invest directly into ClassTrack. A lot of the details, the deck, obviously the F1 offering document is there, so you can take a look at that if it makes sense for people as an investment opportunity. And Gaurav, you'll also be available. We can set up some calls, one-on-ones, things like that, where if people have any questions, obviously ask questions at the bottom here as well if you're watching along. We're going to jump on to presenter number 2, which is Cam, who has joined us. He's sitting right beside, depending on how your screen shows up, right beside Gaurav in the bottom left there. Cam is with Bootleggers. For those that have been watching, Bootleggers raised some capital with us and is now on to the next round. So Cam is going to be presenting Bootleggers. I believe. Are you presenting? Just very quickly. We're technically. Am I going to live stream the deck, or do you have it there to share? You're on mute. Let me. There you go. You're there. Well, welcome, Cam. You can do it. All right, perfect.
Yeah,
so
give me
you
just
want to share the
moment.
screen?
Yeah.
And once again, Gaurav, thank you very much. We'll have you on again another show. And
thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks, Justin. Thank you, everyone.
And stick around, and we'll you can ask Cam some questions as well. We'll.
I just have to hop on for another meeting. Thank you so much.
Okay, no worries, guys.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thanks, Gaurav. All right, Cam, head into it.
One second. I'm just I'm just pulling up the deck so I can open it. Okay.
So far, so good. We actually have one question in the audience. I'll just throw it. Ricky will answer that question on the online about the numbers for Class Track. Episode 1. Before you know it, this will be a regular thing every week. We'll have new guests, new pitches, fun times. It takes a little momentum, though, right? As I'm sure all of us pretty much on here run our own business or are involved in early stage startups. So we all know what it's like. And appreciate the patience.
All right. Perfect.
You got it there?
Can you see it?
All right. Yeah, I'm just adding it to this stage there. There we go. All right. So, yeah, Cam, founder and CEO of Bootleggers, currently raising on backers as well. Round 2 of their round, and I'll let you kick it off. There you go, Cam.
Of course. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Sorry for being late also. I was in another session as well, somewhere else. It's good to have you all. If I don't know you or you don't know me, I'm Cam Tabarrai. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Bootleggers Cocktail. It's an experiential, real craft cocktail in a can. So there is a lot of meanings embedded in that sentence already. It's a real craft cocktail for the first time that is shelf stable enough to be able to put it in a can or a bottle. It's inspired by art and entertainment, and it presents a mission that is based on an experiential experience in general, kind of similar to Red Bull, story and model that they were going after lifestyle with adrenaline and sports and those kind of things. We are going after art, after entertainment and experiences, and that's our adrenaline is art and our lifestyle is an entertaining experience, and Bootleggers cocktails are the means to deliver that experience. Let's start with, I think I have to do it from this side actually. Yes. All right. So let's first put a little future backstory into this. This is the vision board for Bootleggers Cocktails before we jump into how we get there and what we have and all of that. This is what we see, how we see ourselves in 2026. Bootleggers Cocktail, as I mentioned, it is a cocktail. It's a retail product and is heavily tied into art and entertainment. So as you can see, the vision for us is to be a global brand with retail footprint all around the world in various retail outlets, whether it's a liquor store or a grocery store. We will be a key player in the entertainment industry, as we are already in our home bases of British Columbia and California. And we want to be a major featured beverage in festivals like Coachella, Tomorrowland, etc., all around the world. And we are heavily tied into high-end markets as well. Of course, we have different grades to the product, but one of the backbone stories of Bootlegger's Cocktail is that we are offering an experience and a high-end experience, but in an affordable and inclusive model. And last but not least, we are really designed to be a social brand, and all of our branding is based on social experience. Let's have a quick look at our team. Of course, I'm the CEO and Chief Executive Officer. I started my journey 5 years ago, and along the way, I met my co-founder and partners, John and Kirash. All of us do a lot of things, of course. Each of us has a different background. I come from the world of engineering, funny enough. And after 10 years of engineering, I started my journey. I wanted to follow my passion, which was into art, entertainment, and the social settings of life. And along the way, as I was launching my first project, which got pivoted to get to this point, I met my operational partner, a CEO of the company, Jean Levin, who was fresh from Japan. He's French, of course. He comes from the world of hospitality, and that's how he ties in to this whole puzzle of experience that we build. And after that, we met Kirash, our third partner, the Chief Creative Officer. He's the artist behind a lot of work that we do, the labels of the cocktails, and a lot of branding side of the business. All of us, we have this very interesting complementary set of skills that is very important for the founding team of a brand. I bring the vision forward and the back-end business side. Kirash brings the branding, the art, and the soul of the experience forward. And Jean is the executor, is the one with the eye for all the details, and of course, the hospitality and the flavor side. In a simple way, Bootlegger's Cocktails are a combination of flavors that are paired with art. As you can see this in this slide, I'm going to go back, of course, but just to put that in perspective, the art on the label pairs with the flavors in the cocktail, and the way it's promoted and sold is through an experience. So that's how we capture all those subtle skills at the same time together. So how we got here in 2019 is when I started this whole business. It's called the Volatile Project, the business that owns Bootlegger and the brands underneath. The idea was to bring and create an art-inspired experiential entertainment in the nightlife industry. To simply put, the idea was to use art as the emotional trigger that attracts people to create an experience and sell them an experience. And alcohol, of course, was the trigger in this model. And it was like a lubricant that would allow this influence and sales to happen faster and easier. I founded Volatile Project. The first project was before pandemic. It was supposed to be a 3 different rooms in a in-person hospitality project in Vancouver, British Columbia. And as we were getting very close to the opening the place, the lease offer was made. Pandemic happened, of course, and with the pandemic shutdowns, nothing happened. 1 year into pandemic, I had already met Jean, but I invited Jean to join me as my partner officially, and we launched the concept of Ghost Bar. What I meant by Ghost Bar at the time was replicating the concept of ghost kitchens, which is establishment from where you deliver food ready to go and ready to eat using delivery platform, Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc. But you wanted to replicate that with a bar or a cocktail bar, basically. So you have a menu of cocktails that are basically made ready to drink, and you want to deliver them to customers on demand using Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc. Because if you have a licensed restaurant, then at a time after pandemic, you would be able to sell them using the platforms a ready-to-drink mixed cocktail. But the caveat was that it had to be mixed right there on spot at the place. Soon enough, we founded a brand called Cocktail Connoisseur, which was dedicated to a lot of in-person experiences, which was a big part of our branding at a time. And then in that process, we met our third partner, Kirash. And once we were running the Ghost Bar operations and we were hosting a whole bunch of pop-ups and art events and experiences together with Kirash at a time, we decided eventually to do the second pivot basically and come together collectively, use the art use the hospitality, and use the vision for experiential entertainment, and you leverage the trade secret that we developed with the Ghost Bar, which was about making a cocktail shelf stable, a real craft cocktail with all real ingredients. And we went retail because eventually we all know that, if you want to make money in that kind of a environment with the products, retail is the answer. We were confident with our recipes, with our formulas, with our trade secret, with our brand that presents the mission and brings it along with experiential artistic entertainment. And we put them together and we created Bootlegger's Cocktail, real craft cocktail with real ingredients, the one and the only in the world, and the claim is completely real. And I tell you why right here. So if you look at the alcohol market in the ready-to-drink or RTD space, the options are very limited. We all know White Claw, right? The king of the cans and ready-to-drink beverages. White Claw is very good because they call themselves seltzer, as they should. It's basically a spirit, which is not a crafty spirit, is an industrial-grade edible spirit, basically neutral grain spirit, lowest in the totem pole of quality. They add flavors. I believe most of White Claw models are made with artificial flavors, in fact, not even natural flavors. But again, there's no difference really between artificial and natural flavors, because what we call flavor is basically a powder that you add in, with a spoon amount. Like you basically measure this much mass of this powder I want to add. This is like a blueberry flavored powder. This powder, right, is fake. It's basically not real. And carbonation, which is added at the canning point in the system that they do canning, is CO2 basically. The reason you do carbonation is, of course, because you want to keep the can hard. But the second reason is because it really lacks flavor and interesting elements. So carbonation adds a layer of excitement to the drink. And then after that, of course, now we have other products similar to that are sponsored by big alcohol brand like the Jack and Coke, right? Is Jack Daniel's whiskey with Coca-Cola in a can. Again, we all know there's nothing much in it. It's literally the spirit and the Coke. We call those highballs. And then we call White Claw seltzers. And then there are whole other brands of RTDs, similar to the most famous one, On the Rocks, that is bottled. And mostly they're bottles, and they're higher ABV in percentage of alcohol. The other ones were 5%. And they're made the same way as White Claw, except that they don't have carbonation. They're the spirit, which is, again, the cheapest spirit and lowest quality spirit, neutral grain for the most part, and flavors and colors. There's nothing real about it. They're all in the market that has a lot of fake and seltzers and vodka soda, simple stuff. It's funny to know that this market is the fastest growing part of alcohol industry, where beer and wine are slowly dying in sales. Tequila and mezcal are thriving as spirits, and at the same time, with tequila and mezcal thriving on the spirit side, ready to drink canned and bottled beverages that are mixed and have flavors on top of the spirits are the fastest growing in the market, in the alcohol space, and they're not slowing down. They're projected to keep growing for the next 5 to 10 years at the highest, fastest slope ever. Possibly imagine. If you read any of the consumer market studies year after year, this is very clear. Having said that, if you look at this graph that we have in front of us, or this infographic, you very clearly see that this is not what we drink when we go to a bar, to a restaurant, right? This is not, you have fancy wine, or you have a craft cocktail. You go to a cocktail bar. A cocktail that you drink there is an alcoholic mixed drink that has one or more spirits and ingredients like fruit juices, herbs, syrups, extracts, bitters. They're normally served from 200 to 350 ml size, and they're 8 to 12% ABV. None of these products that I just told you has such satisfies this definition. They're not craft cocktails. They're simply not a good drink, not a real drink. And to add to it, it's important to mention that if you want a craft cocktail, you have to go to a cocktail bar. How many cocktail bars are around the area that you live in? Not that many, less than a handful. And the same thing goes to big cities around the world, like We have business in Los Angeles. I part-time live in Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities on the planet Earth, the center of art and entertainment. There are not that many cocktail bars in Los Angeles for the size. It's a problem, and they're very expensive. They're very busy. Their space is limited. So you simply cannot have a good drink anywhere outside of a cocktail bar. And that, to me, is a problem. And I know to a lot of people in the consumer market for alcohol, it is a problem. And that is a serious problem because it opens opportunity for filling the gap in the market, bringing a real drink into hands of people at home, by the beach, at a festival, at a concert, at a sports arena, when you go to a gala. How terrible it is to dress up, pay $150, go to a gala, an event, and what you get is the lowest quality vodka in a plastic cup with Canada Dry soda and a very low quality cut lime wedge for $20. That's the world we live in. I say that's not fair, and there is a very clear difference and space there that we need to fill, because if I'm paying so much money and I'm going to an experience on an event, I expect at least the amount of money that I'm paying for a drink gives me something of that same scale, which is never the reality. So that's the first thing, accessibility, as we talked about it, availability that is not available where you live. Quality is another thing. Quality of a craft cocktail is heavily controlled by the bartender. If there's a different bartender, you don't get the same quality. Consistency, same thing. And of course, comfort. What if I want to have a drink at home? What if I go to my friend's place for a party? What do I do? Back in time, we would always get a bottle of wine, maybe a 6-pack of beer, right? These days, maybe a bottle of tequila. But, you go to a house party right now, people bring cans. It's a way of life because it's easier, is more diverse, and is more sustainable also. And finally, safety in the nightlife space. When you go to a nightclub or music festival, stuff like that, you always have to be worried as a especially young lady, right? A young girl, young guy too, same thing. So your drink is not subject to contamination, to intentional drug infusions, right? But if you have a packaged drink like a can, you can never do that, because that nobody opened the can except you. So these are some of the many reasons that we do have some problem in the alcohol industry on the service side of it, and there is a very clear space and gap to fill. Our solution has been bringing the art of mixology in a can and present it to people. It's a real craft cocktail. Everything in it is real, is made with real fruits, real juice, real herbs, real extracts, real syrups. There is nothing fake in it. Is not carbonated because it does not need to be carbonated. A real craft cocktail, 99% of craft cocktails are not carbonated. There's two carbonated cocktails, French 75 and Aperol Spritz. There's nothing else on earth. I mean, you can get creative and create one, but it's not a common thing in a craft cocktail world. Our packages, this is the old version of the product, 9.6%. The new one is 8.5% at 355 ml cans, which are the typical tall cans that you see. We have no preservatives. We have minimum 1 year shelf life. It's accessible in retail, in nightlife, in festivals, in restaurants, anywhere that has a license to sell alcohol. It's designed after original art pieces. So when you see the can, you hold it in your hand, you have a drink, have a sip, it just adds to your whole experience. It makes you think about it. It makes you pair naturally the sensory experience of flavors and aroma with what you see on your eye and what you feel in your hand. There is a flavor setting and a profile for everybody. There are different spirits, different flavor profiles. We go from spicy to fruit forward, tropical, sour, tart, more delicate and sweet, different flavor profiles. And we use QR code for different experiments. Before we had it as an augmented reality experience. Soon we're going to switch that to a loyalty program. And very soon after that to a sponsorship program. So there are different ways to use a QR code on a can. We do want to have an extended experience, not just drinking the can and toss it. We offer an experience that is powered by art and innovation. So why Bootlegger's Cocktail compared to other brands in the market? Well, the very first answer before we get to our 3 pillars of existence is, what is a real craft cocktail? And there is no real craft cocktail in a can or bottle available. But let's say you don't believe me or you haven't tasted it, you don't even know. Let's talk about the vision. Let's talk about what this product offers besides just a drink. First of all, is an experience of art. It's truly an art, both on the mixology side and on the fine art side. Second, experience. It's more than just a drink. And I don't need to tell you this. When you drink it and you feel it and you see it yourself. You experience it yourself. Experience is not something that you can sell by talking about it. It's best experienced in person. And that's what we believe in. One sip and one time seeing and drinking the cocktail, it makes you a customer. Guaranteed. Happens every time. Innovation. And of course, we're using many different ways of new technologies to accelerate our sales, have creative sales channels, market our product differently, bring it to the market differently, connect to our audience differently, and we never stop and we keep updating ourselves. So how have we got here? Proof of concept. It's very important to know that this product, this can, is not just a simple canned vodka soda or something like that, right? Because those things are, somebody wakes up, decides that, oh, maybe I inherited some money. Let's start, and I always love drinking and having an alcohol brand. So let's have a new can in the market. That's not how this brand was born. This is not how you start a proper business, right? And sadly, most of the brands in the market are like that in the alcohol industry. Alcohol industry is not the most entrepreneurial, innovative industry, and there's a huge gap in it for that very reason, in fact. But we started with a vision to bring art into nightlife and into entertainment industry, and that, with the pandemic shutdowns and all the things that happened after that, resulted in developing that vision and the mission behind it into products. And as you can see, from a cocktail kit that we made back in 2020 all the way to the different forms of bottles and tubes that we were selling out of our restaurant partners with the Ghost Bar model and Uber Eats and DoorDash, it led us eventually to the retail market that we see in 2023 and 2022 and 3. We have the bottles and the cans available. And of course, the very first edition of the cans after 2023 that now is made in California is ready. That the photo is missing here, but that's the next update of the pitch deck, of course. It's very similar. It's just, as I mentioned, is a bigger can. So we had 6 different iterations of the product to get here, including 2 full-on pivots on the concept. And on the bottom line, as you can see, it's a little infographic presentation of many different events and experiences we hosted to build the brand and support this product development and vision with it and connect with the audience directly. From 2021 to 2023, we have at least hosted 100 original events under the Bootleggers family and beyond. And all of them had one very common theme: art and cocktails. And that never ends. Whether the art is music, visual arts, or other forms of art, performing arts, it's always there. Sometimes multiple forms of art come together to support the vision. And the cocktails are the very beating heart of every experience. Let's slowly go to the financials, business model, and how we offer our unique value propositions to be advantageous as a startup compared to other brands and products in the market. So first of all, we take advantage of both sides of our business: the product itself as a retail product and our events and experiences. Way back in time, the events started as a means to connect with the audience and to promote things that we love and showcase it to people. Now we use it as our own very dedicated, exclusive brand marketing and sales channel. Basically, through our events, we connect with thousands of people every time. We sell tickets, so all the cost of the event is covered, and we put our brand right in the front, whether it's in the sky with drones or presented with, on the screens, biggest screens everywhere. And also it's sold at the bars of that venue. So we make money off the event itself. It's a dedicated marketing channel for the product, and we sell and move the product through our events. And we connect with the audience and expand our audience. Nothing can get better than that, basically. And on the product side, of course, we have sales to the stores. Obviously, as you know, alcohol industry is heavily regulated in North America. So, we need a retail, we need a distributor, and through our distributor, we sell it to retailers. But we could also sell it online through certain specific type of retailers. We also sell it directly to venues and stadiums that are partners and support the vision and art experience, sports, anywhere that normally a concert is happening, a sports exhibition is happening, or something like that, we are directly selling to festivals and organizers of festivals, and to restaurants, of course, as well. Basically anywhere that has an alcohol license and serves and sell alcohol. And of course, we sell the product in our own events and experiences as well. Our events and experiences have another channel to them, which is, beside the ticket sales and the business development, is the sponsorship. When some of the events that are really big and an opportunity for other brands to come in and be present, we take advantage of it, and we leverage that financially by charging them a sponsorship fee to have their brand present beside our brand. Target market and financial projections. So the target market, of course, we're talking about this. We are in the alcohol space, and specifically in the ready-to-drink space. Ready-to-drink space is very big, and it's getting bigger and bigger every year. As you can see on the left side, the growth numbers. Again, any reports you follow year after year within the consumer market, this is it. RTD is the one, and people like it. It's simple, it's easy, it makes sense, it's easy to use, and it's safe. And again, you have real estate on the can that you could use for advertisement, for art, for everything. So there's a lot of factors involved with it. But the reason we got involved is because I think we all know, as I presented earlier, it's missing that real beverage, real craft cocktail experience, that we don't have it. Craft cocktail, craft beer is now in a can. They even put wine in a can right now. But of course, you don't buy wine in a can because you think it's low quality. That's the same reason that we are against all these brands in the RTD space, that there is a challenge for us, because everybody has that, natural negative connotation towards canned beverages because they think it's low quality and cheap and just vodka soda. Whereas we're now introducing a high quality brand premium cocktail in cans and bottles. How we see growing our revenue and sales and tap into new markets in the next few years. So our events are not going to slow down by financials and revenue. They're going to slow down on the quantity and frequency. And we're going to just host a few big events every year in key markets and home markets. But those big events allow us to move a lot of product. So that's how we're normalizing that. And of course, it generates revenue. B2B contracts are very important. We don't have a big B2B contract yet. What I mean by B2B contract is a hotel chain, a big restaurant chain, an airline, right? These are the contracts that once you get in, then your product is going to be part of the menu of that hotel or in their mini bars forever. And they might have like 20 different locations in one city, right? So those are the B2B contracts that over the next few years will be definitely growing. We're actively looking at, identifying those key partnerships and go after them. But of course, the main source of revenue eventually, and is going to be forever, is their retail product sales. That is basically the simple retail sales of cans. USA is going to be the biggest North American market, of course, Canada and Mexico to follow. Canada, of course, BC is a market, but the rest of Canada is not really high priority as much as is United States. We're producing in the United States now, so it's very easy to grow in the high population areas in the US. Unlike Canada, because in Canada, different provinces have different regulations, and you can't just simply export from BC to Ontario and sell. In the United States, you can. Very simple and very easy. And then Mexico and UK. For Mexico, it's very important, and for UK to know that we will produce locally there for the local market. We're not going to export, import. Just US and Canada allow production in the United States and selling in US and import back to Canada. And that's based on the last 3 rounds we've done. We've got the numbers. We experience different ways. And this is the most optimized model that we're going to follow in the next few years. There's some projection numbers and revenue numbers here. As you can see, we are shooting for a very aggressive growth in 2025 and 2026. With that is going to come a $2 million investment that we are on it from now until end of next year to see where we land. And basically, it's the game of retail. Expand the inventory, expand the sales. Some of the sales are going to go towards budget for marketing and sales. But we also have a very dedicated diagrams for, how do we enter a new market? How long does it take? What's the process? How do we sell in a new market if it's just imported in the US from one state to another? And we have a whole process that we're building and developing that is going to address that and how we grow. So once the money's in, we don't have any issue with our sales channels, because it's very easy in the retail business to get caught up by too much demand, not too much supply, or vice versa. It's a very tricky business. You got to be very careful with your growth to not overgrow yourself fast or too late, right? Because then, you're going to run into cash flow problems, especially in the alcohol business. The alcohol is a regulatory item, so you don't get paid right away. You have to go through distributors. So there are like channels, the ways that you can mitigate the risk and get paid faster. And that's the whole reason we produce in the United States and sell there mostly, because it's privatized and you can get paid faster. Whereas in Canada, the government as the distributor pays you 60 days later, right? So, your money, and then for whatever was sold today, and then it keeps going every week and every month. So you're not getting your money back that easily. And that's what the experience of learning in different markets, how things work, comes to life. The goal for us is to have 1 million units of cans produced, distributed, and sold in 2026. That's the goal. And with that, we would be a $10 million business very easily, just by the number of by the revenue and trade secret and assets. That's all. Very simple. Now, let's look at what we're raising. Basically, we are raising right now, I know the cap in the crowdfunding is 100K, but we're raising up to 300,000 right now for 10% ownership of the company. These are common or preferred shares, depending on the different amount of investment. We'll have a $1 per share. These are non-diluted shares as of today. The way you can think of it as an investor, that you're going to make value out of this investment, is by three simple things. First of all, your investment in value is going to increase over time by growth of the company and company's valuation. There will be opportunities for dividend on an annual basis once the company is producing that million can and is in profit. And of course, the exit plan is a public market offering, whether we go through a merger acquisition to a bigger company who is public, or issuing our own IPO independently, or on a roll-up model with some other partners. And of course, anybody who's investing in our business at a bigger capacity becomes part of the family, receives complimentary samples, packages, market release products, lifetime VIP access to all of our events all around the world. And, a lot of fun, let's say, side effects out of it. Is a lot of good deeds that could come out of that, because, again, we are a startup that is in the fun business, not in the, other side of the world. And, being part of our journey is fun. A lot of people and the early stage investors joined us because, they saw an opportunity, but they also saw it's fun. It's a fun journey, for what you pay and what you're getting with the potential for return. You also have fun, and you're part of this really cool journey that has a net positive social impact, really, on lifestyle. Use of our funds, the 300,000, pretty much most of it is going to go directly towards production of the inventory. And of course, part of it is going to go for our marketing efforts, for sales and business development, and some of it for overhead and training, as you can see. And that's it. Finally, if any questions, I'm happy to answer. As we can stop the sharing.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Cam, for joining us. Appreciate it. I think some of you are unmuted, but so there's Bootleggers. Bootleggers is obviously live, raising on the Backers platform. If you do want to invest, you can click on the button there. All the information, the deck that Cam just went through, as well as some other details are available there. We'll go around the circle. Our numbers have dwindled a little bit. This call has gone. This is episode 1. We're learning. I'm just. I think maybe one presenter per day and get a group, the crowd. But this is episode 1, the crowd. Why don't we jump either into Peter, or Dan, someone that didn't answer, or I know Steve, you said you got to bounce. Do you guys have any questions, before you go, or what are your thoughts?
I can ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Hey Cam, I think I met you at your event at Science World. That was I can see what you're doing around the experiential events and stuff like that. I thought it was awesome. And there's a couple of questions that came to mind when I was listening to you, and one being, how are you going to educate people to? I'm assuming your product's going to cost more than a lot of the other canned products that are on the shelf because it's a higher quality. How are you going to educate people to pay more for your product? And then tied into that, I was thinking that you need a bigger marketing budget, because I saw on your sheet that you only have 35,000. But if you wanted to compete with some of the bigger players, you probably need some more money for marketing and brand awareness. Am I wrong?
No, you're very correct. To answer your first question, so we're offering right now a lot of incentives to a lot of liquor stores to lower the price and to carry the product and lower the price. So that's kind of part of our new rollout budgets, both in the US and Canada, with the new cans coming in. Because we do believe, as you said, if we think that if people see this and drink it, they're hooked. So once people are hooked, then you can slowly, bring the price back to what they need to pay. So that's the first thing. And that ties into actually your second question on the marketing and sales budget. So as you can see, some of that budget I put as the sales budget and business development, because we're in the retail business, right? Marketing ROI directly is not measurable for sales, because I put ads, I put, influencers, these campaigns. But what really affects the sales is half of that budget that goes through incentives for liquor stores, right? Cashback incentives, discounts for the consumer, all sorts of things that actually incentivizes the retailer and incentivizes the consumer both. So if you now put those together, you got like $70K budget, right? So that's kind of like a different way of looking at it in the retail business compared to, again, we have alcohol licenses, right? And that's why we break it down. But yes, we do.
Got a little choppy.
And as we go, the budget of our marketing is also our events, right? So imagine, for the 100,000 cans, we would have $100,000 budget, which is broken into 3 segments of 30,000, 30,000, 30,000.
Gotcha.
Cool. Sort of cut out there for a second, Cam, but we're dwindling. I want to obviously appreciate everyone for joining us and stuck it out this long. Those that are watching, we've had, I think, about 20 or 30 people watch online, so that's cool. And obviously this will be recorded, for people to go back and watch. Maria or Peter, I know you guys haven't had a chance to really participate yet. Any questions? I know you kind of did at the beginning. Any questions you guys want to jump in and ask Cam? Obviously you guys have been at the events, so you love the drinks.
Yeah.
I know we've experienced
I love the
them
drink.
together.
Yes. I actually really like the drink. You've identified a really good gap in the marketplace. I was just wondering what is going to stop a bigger player copying you. How are you going to compete if somebody, if you're starting to fill a gap that really is needed? What's going to stop another competitor to copy you and take over?
Yeah, so that's a fact that, there's always people who are going to come and copy you, right? It's the Coca-Cola and Pepsi, right? The story. But the barrier that we see that, protects us a little bit and buys us time until we go, through our full cycle of growth is 2 things. First, the food science behind the trade secret and the product itself, right? It's very unique and is literally owned mutually by us and our food scientist. And he's not in the business of doing that with other people. It's not his business. This happened on under a very unique circumstance, and we are committed with each other in that note. So that's protected. That's one side of it. And the second is people still are trying to grasp what it is. And by the time it gets to that stage that big players notice us, we are going to be big enough. So we have established at that point ourselves as the first to the market, as the Coca-Cola of the canned craft cocktails. And that's the idea. There is always going to be a little bit of a, concern with that. But, part of our business is understanding what else is in the market on a daily basis to be able to act properly as we go through it.
Interesting. So just a quick question. I haven't really asked a question there, but that's interesting. You mentioned also the patents and things like that, but you've got obviously the small participant, small player, pivot ability, maneuver ability that maybe some of the larger players don't have. So they're down 2-3 years down planning into a specific sector to pivot and launch into this marketplace. They're probably 2-3 years from that point anyways, right? So even if they found out today, they wouldn't be able to make a move quick enough to by 2026, and by then you're already millions of cans. It'd be easier to purchase you than to try to compete, and that's kind of obviously basically the exit strategy, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
basically
right.
the idea.
So, Peter, any thoughts?
We're protected with our food scientists, basically, right? It's not like something that somebody can come tomorrow and it's like, hey, now I pay you money, you work for me. No, that's not how it's protected.
Right. Right. And that's the patent side. And even if they did that, you'd probably win in some sort of litigation, right? At some point.
Yeah. And then, the other side of it, the food science is one side of it. Also, the recipes and the art and all of that stuff is our recipes, right? We create that flavor profile. We create that experience through the can. Like, if Coca-Cola wants to do it, then they need to hire me as well to create a recipe that goes well with that formulation and all that, right? We've been working on this for 3 years to be able to fine-tune all of these details to this level.
So I do have a quick question about the artwork. Is the artwork kind of static to the specific style of drink? I'm not sure which different types of cocktails you have here, but there's the one with the skull on it. Is that going to be the artwork for that flavor forever, or is there going to be potentially an issue with maybe brand recognition with the artwork changing all the time?
So that's what we've actually had a lot of conversations about that. That's a very good question. That, okay, a lot of times you need like a brand identity. Part of this is that, like if you have a cocktail, even in the brands that are routine brands, normal brands, they try to change the color of the can, like like a little tone difference. So you got something, but it changes from one to another. Yeah. Maybe if it tastes like mandarin, there's a photo of a mandarin on it or something, right? Versus a pineapple. But because this is art, and we've been really working on this hard to see the feedback, it seems like the feedback from the public has been that we're okay. We recognize bootleggers as a brand. And we're happy to see these different art forms for different flavors. So once we introduce a new flavor, that's going to have a new art piece. But what we do through the iterations and based on the customer feedback and the sales numbers, we would keep the core flavors as the base. And then we would do here and there a new added one, a low calorie later, a non-alcoholic later, a collaboration with a new artist, as a limited edition. So it opens the door for those things where you maintain.
Okay, yeah. So like the skull version of the drink here is going to always just be the skull version where you don't.
That one, yeah. The main, exactly. So there is that consistency in the backbone. Yes.
Good. Thanks.
So the tequila one that we all had at the drone show was what's the artwork on that one?
Is
that the skull one?
The one that says no, the other one. Phoenix feather. That's the one that has a kind of a naked lady shape kind of on it. That's reproduced with the new cans. So it's like in the new cans, they're bigger. So the art actually pops a lot nicer and is printed. Nice. It's very nice.
Cool. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. Do you have any last questions, parting words? Cam, what are your thoughts? Obviously, everyone else if you're watching live, go check out Bootleggers on the backers.ca portal. And some of you already have invested, others out there watching, now's the time. So parting words, this is episode 1 in the books, only took us 1 hour and 20. I wasn't sure if it'd get to 1 hour 30 or more, but appreciate you guys for sticking it out. This is the West Coast crew, so I guess everyone's probably East Coast has checked out for work or they've had to go pick up the kids or do whatever. But anyways, appreciate it. Everyone, Mike.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Peter,
so much.
Cam, really appreciate it. Obviously, Dan, Maria, really appreciate you guys joining me. We'll be on again next week, actually. So everyone else, stay tuned. This is the, what do we call it? The Crowd, powered by Backers. I'm just going to do the little play out show. Here we go.
You hit the nail on the head. That seems to be a sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I think the timing's perfect.
Something like Backers that can connect idea people with money people and is tremendous.
All right, we're down to 4. Thank you guys for staying. I made that last night very quickly. I'm gonna try and put another one together. But yeah, really appreciate you guys. Love to hear your feedback. Everyone else, let me know.
Thank you.
Peace. All right, cheers, guys. We'll end this.